Hi. I know it's been a while since I've last put up a video, and that's because for the past few months I've been rather busy scratch building a YT1300 class freighter from Star Wars. Now, the most famous example of that class is, of course, the Millennium Falcon. Now, this is not the Millennium Falcon. This is a ship I call the Silver Hawk. It's a more standard version of the class. And it's the ship in my fan fiction. Now, I began, as you can see, by doing a floor plan. This is at 1:40 scale, so it's life-size to the model. And it was when I began this, I rapidly discovered that drawing the circles of the size I needed them was going to be quite a challenge. At 1:40 scale, I need circles of up to 250 millimeters radius. And there's my compasses that I had available, which only goes out to about 75 millimeters radius maximum. Looking on eBay and Amazon, I found out that for an actual pair of compasses that would let me draw the circles the size I'd needed would cost about £40. That's a lot more than I was willing to spend. So what I did was I went just to a high street store, bought a children's math set that included protractors, set squares and a pair of compasses, and I modified the compasses. All I did was saw through the arms and extend them, and then added a bracing arm so that it doesn't wobble as you're dragging it around. Now, after I'd got the floor plans done, I did a very basic paper and cardboard mock-up of the main hull and the cockpit corridor. I can't show you that because I had to throw it out. It was taking up too much room and I needed the space for a World War I Vickers gun. I did, however, photograph it, and I'll be putting some photographs of the construction process up at the end of this video, so you'll be able to see it then. After that, I went on to this. Now, this is made primarily from plastic card. Along with numerous odds and ends I found lying around, and some spare parts from model kits, particularly Games Workshop model kits. People who've seen my videos will know I'm into Warhammer 40,000 in a big way, and there were some quite useful components. For example, the laser cannon. You'll notice it's a single laser cannon rather than a quad. This only has one gun mounted on it. Uses quite a few spare tank parts. And I've used an antenna left over from I think a land speeder kit in the sensor dish. The dish itself comes from a plastic dessert bowl. The sort of plastic was rather brittle, so I strengthened it by putting on the plastic card spines you can see. And I did the same on the back. And now, the details down here, quite a few of the components you can see there are leftover electronic parts. Being an electronic engineer, I have access to devices that are about to be scrapped. It's also, I've done the same again there. You can see a row of resistors here and some ribbon cable. I use ribbon cable quite a lot along here. It provides very closely spaced parallel patterns. Most of the detailing is just plastic card again. After coating the framework with a 1/4 mil thick sheet, I then put on smaller 1/2 mil thick sheets to give individual plate segments, and then stuck on 1 millimeter thick details. Take it down, and you can see it's only got 4 legs for landing gear instead of the 5 on the Millennium Falcon. It does, however, have the entry ramp in the same place, and this does retract. It lifts up, just hard to do with only one hand free. And if I lift up the laser cannon, you might just be able to see there is detail inside the gun turret, and over here you'll see there's detail inside the cockpit. And that is because I've actually fully detailed the interior. Okay, so this is the interior after lifting away the upper hull. As you can see, I've got the cockpit. control panel there, and more instruments along the back walls behind the rear chairs, and also the gun turret up there. Now the gun turret, the chair twists round because it has to really. The only way I could see you be able to get in and out is if you turned it side on and then climbed back down into the lounge area here with seating. Again, the freestanding chair rotates, and the compact galley unit. Next to the lounge area, we have a combined storage and airlock chamber. The ladder would lead up to the top hatch. I located the top hatch in this position because it seemed like an easy place to put it. I didn't try and match up with where the Millennium Falcons is. Also, we've got the access ramp here. You can see runs down. Now, the doors just lift up like so. Some of them are a lot stiffer than that. And then over here we have a cargo hold. Features the power core. Also includes a cargo lift that will take cargo directly down to the surface below. A secondary hold, I picture that being a refrigerated area. Over here we have a workshop, tool racks and instrument access there. There's a small corridor that would give access to the sensor dish systems. The sensor would be approximately on top of that when the upper hall's on. And then we have the crew quarters here. There are 3 cabins, 2 with triple bunks, that one and that one, and then further to the front there is a double bunk cabin, and then there's a bathroom just opposite it. So it's got a total crew capacity of 8. And here, you'll notice we've got escape pods, which are a snug fit, but do detach, and these open up. Each has a 4-man capacity. Shot of the instrument panel there. So you've got enough escape pod capacity to evacuate your entire crew. And after I carefully refit that, I will now explain about the crew. Before I started work on this model, I'd already created miniatures to represent the characters in my fan fiction, and it was those figures that really dictated the scale of this model. I wanted figures that I could customise so that I could make them resemble any character I wanted without worrying about having to find a range that covered every possible combination of character I was using in the fiction. That really stopped me using the old West End Games miniatures because they're hard to come by, they're expensive, and I can't go chopping them up. I wasn't so sure about the pre-painted plastic figures that are available for some of the new tabletop games either. So instead, what I resorted to was Lego people, because let's face it, Lego's customisable. This one is Captain Mace Grail. He is the owner of the Silver Hawk, a free trader, turned smuggler, turned rebel. And I've always pictured that character being played by the actor Tamo Penniket. You may remember from the new Battlestar Galactica. He played Hilo, and his engineer, Tobias Dorfus. I picture him as being like Jay Ryan, the Australian actor who was in Sea Patrol. And of course he's got an R5 unit to help him. You'll notice I've modified a simple Lego cone to produce the R5 head here, because when I got that figure you couldn't get the cone-shaped heads on R5 units, you got a dome with them. Now those two are the actual crew of the ship, and there's a 4-man rebel team assigned to it, led by Major Vaughan Larkus III, an exiled noble, played by Gregory Itzkin, I always like to think, with a protocol droid, Jeeves. Every true noble should have a protocol droid to assist him. Sergeant Theron Versa, mercenary, sort of bearing a remarkable similarity to Adam Baldwin, I always feel. Fighter pilot turned medic, Cara Bilston. I imagine her played by Shannon Elizabeth. And finally, for this unit, we have the accident-prone demolitions expert, Jessica Horbid. I picture her as being like Hayley Duff. And the stolen mouse droid, Shop Rates. Now, they're not alone in their fight against the Empire. Other rebels included in the fiction I've created, who I picture being played by Emma Caulfield, Sean Pertwee, Kurtwood Smith, Sean Mayer, Alan Tudyk, Joel Gretsch, Colin Salmon, and Alan Montronic Moncalamari, Ali Ehrman, Michael Hogan, Myra Furlan, Ben Browder, Claudia Black, Jules State, David Hewlett, Tricia Helfer, James Callis, Andrew Lee Potts, Connor Trinier, and Demi Lovato. And together they face off against the forces of the evil Empire, represented here by David Warner, Alexis Denisoff, Timothy Dalton, Anthony Stewart Head, Robin Sachs, Sarah Douglas, Juliet Aubrey, Kathleen Tate, Nigel Havers, Freddie Prinze Jr., Vinnie Jones, Luke Goss, Claudia Christian, Dieter Laser, Amanda Michalka, and Gina Holden. And there we have it. Already, set in the classic era, obviously. I've also been doing some fan fiction set in the Tales of Jedi era. I had considered doing the spaceship from that, the Bright Hope, but that's a Delayer class, and a Delayer class is 70 metres long. So 1 to 40 scale, that would be 1.75 metres, and because of the way its wings are structured, it would be about the same tall and wide. That's just far too large, and it's not practical for me to build one of those, unfortunately. Wish I could, but I don't have the room. Anyway, thanks for watching, and now I'll put you some photos up that show you how the construction process went. It's quite easy, almost as if I had an army of little people helping me. Thanks for watching.